Alright, Westwood Band, I'm going to take that material there, minus the Chewini, and make you a mammoth prop for your band competition. Hey band, just wanted to give you a word of advice. If you're planning on making a mammoth, try not to do it when there's rain coming through your carport right next to power tools. Not a safe thing to do. Leave it to the unprofessionals and stay safe. Alright band, here is another explanation here. Your mammoth is made out of a trash can. We are fixing to use this. It's called Great Stuff. It's pretty great, like the name says. This is insulation foam. It is not intended for woolly mammoth sculptures, so we're going to do our best to kind of make this do it. Hopefully I want it to, but I wanted to show you really quickly what it looks like and what I'm going through as I'm doing it. I got eye protection, I got super sweet gloves on. It says it right there on the lid. Wear eyewear and gloves. Keep in mind, it's been raining the past couple days, so my goggles are fogging up. So this should be interesting. I have used it before, and if you get it on your skin, it loves to stick to it, and it's super hard to scrub it off. I basically had to use a piece of sandpaper to sand it off the last time I got it on me, so I am wearing gloves this time. Unfortunately, big hands they don't really make gloves for, so these are a little snug. So let's go ahead and demonstrate what this looks like. There's a problem I'm kind of facing right now. It's fine and dandy when you're filling it on a sloping back. This goes straight up and this goes back at an angle. So this has actually already started to turn solid. So what I'm doing now is tilting it. The first squeeze is always great. It's like putting icing on a cake, except toxic. Oh, something I didn't say before. Don't do this inside. You may not be able to see it on the camera, but as I'm squirting, you can see fumes coming up. It is highly flammable from the aerosol. Once you got all the foam sprayed where you want it, then you just go in and carve it using a box cutter with an extended blade. I'm looking at a picture of the part I'm sculpting, and it's simply just taken away. I'm taking away what I don't want to be there. This part's still kind of setting up, so it's like really squishy, whereas that part's hard. So kind of have to skip over parts of it, otherwise it'll squirt out and then start growing again, expanding. I really like using this stuff to make the bases for them, but it is a lot of waste when you're trying to carve it. So I'm going to carve on this for a while, and hopefully it'll start to resemble something like the picture that I'm holding in my hands. I got a bunch of different angles of it, so hopefully out of these 4 pictures, I can sculpt something into it. And then you'll also notice there's gaps all over the place. I have to go back in and fill that with more foam so that you don't see the gaps. Alright, this is spackle. It's used to stucco walls and patch holes. All I'm using it for is it's got all these pores all over the place. I'm trying to close these up. I can actually sand it a little bit to make it smoother, but it's a skeleton, so it's going to be a little rough. Once it dries tomorrow, I'll sand it. That's pretty much all this step is. It is DAP Presto Patch. I got it in a bucket. I actually had it in powder form, but because it's so humid, it was drying faster than I could mix it. So, plan B. We've already completed the skull over there, so it's all covered. I got to go back over it as it dries because it starts to drip, so that I don't have a bunch of icicles forming. That's this step, and it's not the funnest. Plus, it gets all over your hands and looks disgusting. It's not hard to get off though. It's probably the easiest part to get off because literally it turns into a powder when it's dry. All right. Next step will be paint. So, hooray. Alright, I've gotten it covered with stucco. I've got it painted white, and now I'm going in and adding a brown wash over the top of it to make it look like bone. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a paper towel, wet it. I'm going to keep some wet paper towels, keep some dry paper towels, and inside this I've got really heavily watered down brown paint. So then what we're going to do, we're going to come over here, try not to step in the pan, and you're just going to spread on all over the place this brown paint. It's going to want to drip all over. Try and keep it from dripping the best you can. If it drips, it's fine. I mean, it's kind of what happens when dirt and stuff accumulates on it. It's going to get muddy and drip everywhere, but you'll lay down a nice big area. The reason I'm not immediately wiping it up is I want it to soak down into those cracks and crevices. The most part this is pretty much dry, but there are some parts for some reason. I guess it's the raw exposed foam. It's taking longer to dry. So I've got it nice and brown. I'm going to take my wet, I'm going to take my dry. The reason I've got both, I'm going to wipe it off with the dry first. Okay, wipe it off with the dry first. There's going to be some sections where it's too brown. So I come back with the wet and it takes off that dried area so that it makes it, I mean, you can tell. There's where I wiped off, there's where I didn't. So it just kind of adds to the depth, I guess you could say. Gives you more gradients. You're going to have areas like that area right there, the skull dips in. I'm going to leave that pretty dark because that would be where more dirt accumulates. So you kind of have to think as you're going through here, where would more of the dirt pile in at? In those deeper cracks everywhere. So this kind of highlights the features on it. And if for some reason you mess up and say you got a spot that's a little too brown, you can just go back over it. Wait for it to dry and then you can touch it back up if you want. But that's pretty much what I have to do for this guy. The two tusks that are right there. Once I do a brown, I'll go over with a little bit of yellow. And then after the yellow, then I may go on the tusk especially and put little black streaks, because on tusk for some reason, it's one of the natural occurring things over time. I get these little black streaks all throughout them, through the veins. So another 5 or 6 hours of this and I should be done, hopefully. Have to wait for paint to dry for a lot of it, but it's a lot of man hours. I will say this, since I started the project, I've lost 15 pounds. Texas weather, especially how it's been the past couple weeks, has not been kind to fake skull making builder like myself, so hooray for helping me lose weight. So if anybody wants to lose weight, just go build a big old skull in your backyard and get it done. That's it.